But that was Raw. On to the TNA Slammiversary prediction for this Sunday. It's going to be airing live from Arlington, Texas. I could have sworn they were in Texas for a lockdown event, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know if it was lockdown last year, or maybe it was. No, they were in Miami. No, that was Miami this year. I don't know. They were in Arlington, Texas, maybe in I think 2 years ago for Slammiversary. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe last year. I have no idea. But they'll be back there this year. TNA, it's no surprise, they have not been doing all that well in recent weeks, in the last few months, to be quite honest with you. It's just the last few episodes of Impact really haven't been all that great. If anything, been pretty bad, and a lot of people just don't care to see Slammiversary. We really have no reason to watch the show, because looking at the card right now, there really aren't many matches that I give two craps about. They really haven't done all that good of a job in building up this show to be must-see and to be entertaining. As of right now, I think only a few matches have been confirmed for the show, but a lot of them they haven't even mentioned on TV, which is really strange. But that being said, though, we got Slammiversary on Sunday. Lockdown, I completely forgot was even happening. And I didn't even bother watching that show live, and I'm glad I didn't. It really wasn't that great of a show. But and then with Sacrifice, that was a good show, but it was forgettable. I mean, it was extremely predictable, forgettable. 2 months later, no one remembers a thing about it, or a month later, whenever it was. But even still, though, Slammiversary is supposed to be their second biggest show of the year next to Bound for Glory, and as of right now, I just don't care about it at all. Slammiversary has been solid and good to great to awesome the last number of years. To some, the show of the year. In 2011, 2012, and 2013, I would like to hope that the same will be said for this year's installment, but I'm not holding my breath, because given the fact that the build-up has not been all that good, I mean, the matches themselves could deliver, but the build-up has been so shitty that no one has any reason to care about the show at all. And I mean, buy rates aren't really a problem with TNA. No one's buying their crap anyway, for the most part. The same people who continue to buy the shows, who have been buying TNA pay-per-views for years upon years, will continue to buy the shows. And new people who have been etched into their head that the show is, or the company's complete crap, will not buy the shows. I'm not buying the show. I couldn't give two craps about it. And if I have something better to do, I won't watch it. But hopefully the matches will deliver. So here are my predictions for the show. Willow versus Magnus. I don't even know why we're getting this matchup on the show, because we've seen this God knows how many times in the last number of months. We even had a freaking Falls Count Anywhere matchup on Impact. So you're telling me we're going to get for free a Falls Count Anywhere matchup between two of the company's biggest stars in Willow, a.k.a. Jeff Hardy, and Magnus, but we're going to get the standard matchup between the two on pay-per-view? It's just ass-backwards booking, and it makes no sense at all to even... It makes no sense whatsoever. But that being said, the matches they've had have been decent. They just get no time, so you don't know how good the matches can be. Magnus has been really strange lately. I mean, I guess he went full-fledged heel a couple weeks ago when he aligned himself with Bram, showing his aggressive side. He's been on a massive losing streak, and the only way to make people take him seriously again is for him to win here. Willow has been a complete frickin' joke. Jeff Hardy is the most over guy in the company, and for him to be put under a mask in this shitty-ass Willow gimmick, it makes no sense at all. Willow is complete asinine. It's a dumb gimmick. His mic skills suck. The whole gimmick sucks. No one likes it. So I'm not a fan of it. I love Jeff Hardy, but the whole Willow thing is complete BS. I love Magnus, but he's been booked so freaking poorly since his heel turn a couple months ago that this whole match is a complete miss. So Magnus, I'd put my money on him since they're trying to push him again, and if he loses, it's a joke. So I'll go with Magnus, but I'm not holding my breath. We've got the Von Erichs, the son of, I think, Kevin Von Erich, which one of them is still alive. His two sons are going to be competing on Sunday against a team to be announced. I guess it was advertised at one point, maybe in the local area or on the website or something, that the two opponents would be the Bromance, Robbie E. and Jesse Godders. And that wouldn't surprise me since there aren't many TNA tag teams right now. We only have, who do we have right now? The Wolves and the Bromance. That's pretty much it, with Bad Influence gone. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we get the Bromance in that spot. So easily the Von Erichs are going over. From what I read, the only reason why they're even doing this is because they want to bring in some new people and promote the Von Erichs, since they're big in the Texas area, maybe bring in some new fans to Slammiversary, boost the ticket sales, all that shit, whatever. But I got the Von Erichs going over here, no doubt about it. Why would you even have them wrestle on the show if you're not going to have them win? So that would make no sense. I don't think they have a contract with TNA. I think it's just a one-off thing. But here's the issue with TNA. They tape all their goddamn shows so freaking early. They tape them all at once. They tape maybe 5 or 6 episodes. They tape every episode before Slammiversary in like early May. And because of that, whenever issues arrive like with MVP and his injury status, which I'll get to in a minute, or stuff like this, they can't hype it on television. That was the problem with the lockdown pay-per-view. They had the Great Muta Wrestling and Tigre Uno and Sonata. They had all these great matches going into lockdown that were confirmed on the website, but they weren't given 2 seconds of hype on TV. It's not like they weren't given any build-up. They just weren't even advertised on the frickin' television. They were going into the pay-per-view. TNA's booking is just so asinine. It makes me aggravated, but they don't know how to promote their own product, and that's one of the problems. That's one of their biggest issues right now. That's been one of their biggest issues for years. They don't know how to promote themselves, and it's because of shit like this, because they don't know how to promote the matches for the card, that no one's going to care about the matches when they're eventually happening on the show. So, anyway, going back to the task at hand, I digress. Von Erichs go over against whoever they face, more than likely the Bromance. Austin Aries against Kenny King. I would have loved to see this match a number of months ago, and we did get this matchup in like early October of last year, right before Bound for Glory. But then Kenny King disappeared from TV and didn't resurface until just a couple of months ago. And they're 2 former Ring of Honor stars. The matchup should be great. It brings back memories of Aries versus Samoa Joe from Slammiversary 2 years ago in the opening slot. A great matchup for the X Division Championship. But as great of a matchup this match could be, and this is just kind of the whole mantra for the entire pay-per-view, the action could be awesome, but the build-up has been such complete crap that no one gives 2 craps about who's going to win. Austin Aries has been so marginalized since he lost the TNA World Heavyweight Championship 2 years ago, And Kenny King, I'm a fan of Kenny King, but he's been so over-the-top obnoxious lately. I mean, that's probably the way he should be acting, given the way he's a heel, but he's not generating heel heat. He's generating go-away heat in the sense that I want to turn off my freaking television so I don't have to see this guy anymore. Kenny King is a very talented individual, but the way he's been booked, it's been so asinine that it makes no sense. But anyway, this matchup, Aries and Kenny King, should be good. I've got Austin Aries going over here. If Kenny King wins, who cares? Like that's a lot of the issues with TNA right now. Like I couldn't care less who goes over. It doesn't matter who wins. The matchup could be very good, which I'm looking forward to. The action could be awesome, like I said before, but it doesn't matter who wins. Aries wins, okay. If Kenny King wins, okay. It's not even the step that if Kenny King wins, Aries is fired. It's not even something along those lines. And again, it goes back to the point, TNA does not even know how to promote their own product. They haven't hyped any of these matches, more than half of the matches on this card, and I got all these matches from the Wikipedia page for Slammiversary, and it's probably on their website too, but they have yet to be confirmed on TNA TV, so if you don't go on the website, if you don't read the dirt sheets or whatever, then you have no idea that any of these matches are even happening, so that's the biggest problem with TNA right now, and that leads into the next matchup, Samoa Joe against Bobby Lashley. I think these two faced off against Bound for Glory, I think in maybe 2009, during Bobby Lashley's brief stint with the company before he parted ways with them in early 2010. But same thing with the Aries and King matchup. No one gives 2 craps as far as who goes over. It could be a good matchup. Bobby Lashley is not the greatest mic guy, or the in-ring guy for that matter, but given the right opponent, he can go. He can flat out go. And Samoa Joe is that guy. Samoa Joe, like Austin Aries, is another guy in TNA right now who is very talented, and it's the whole freaking slogan for the entire company, that they have a talented roster, but they just don't know how to utilize them. Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, Magnus, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Bad Influence when they were still there. They don't know how to use their roster. The booking and the creative and the promotion is so bad that no one cares and no one cares to watch. So, going back to the matchup at hand, Joe versus Lashley, like with Aries and Kenny King, it doesn't matter who goes over, but if I had to take a guess, if I had to flip a coin, probably Samoa Joe. If Bobby Lashley went over, whoop-de-doo. I mean, Bobby Lashley just beat TNA World Heavyweight Champion Eric Young a few weeks ago on Impact, so to have him lose here would be strange. And I don't even think Bobby Lashley's won a singles match yet since he came back. He might have lost something via DQ, but via pinfall or submission, I don't think he's lost a match yet in being in TNA since he re-debuted a number of months ago. And Bobby Lashley's yet another guy that came in and at Lockdown had a big push, had a big reaction from the Miami crowd, was featured on Impact a few days, was featured on a few episodes of Impact here and there, disappeared completely, and then resurfaced as one of the henchmen for MVP and yet another heel authority figure stable in TNA. It's ridiculous, and how they don't know how to book this guy is ridiculous. So the fact that he even came back to the company is probably regretting that now, but yeah, Samoa Joe goes over here. Mr. Anderson versus James Storm. The whole feud, and I like the idea of these two feuding, and I was hoping for a feud between these two for many years now because they're both very entertaining on the mic. And James Storm has been trying his hardest to get over as a heel since he turned a couple of months ago. But Mr. Anderson, as talented as he is, he's booked like complete crap. Came off as extremely obnoxious last week on Impact, dressing up as a stereotypical Southern cowboy and being attacked by James Storm, so far to the fact that James Storm was portrayed as the babyface, which is probably what they weren't going for in that segment. So that was a little strange. The matchup itself should be good. Both are good workers. Like I said before, with every other matchup on the show, it doesn't matter who goes over. But if I had to take a guess, maybe James Storm, given the fact that he lost to Gunner God knows how many times. So James Storm is due a win. Mr. Anderson, he's already beaten Sam Shaw a number of times. He doesn't really need to go over here. So I'll put my money on James Storm going over. So he wins. What's next? We've got Bully Ray versus Ethan Carter III. Ethan Carter III has yet to be defeated. If there's any one match on the show that has the best build-up, it's probably this one, and the match that I care most about, because it has the most on the line. And there's not even a championship at stake. Ethan Carter's been undefeated since, I think, when he arrived in TNA in October of Bound for Glory. Hasn't suffered a singles loss since in singles competition. So he could win here. I could very well see him doing so. And it would suck if he was to lose his first singles matchup to Bully Ray without any build-up. And it has been mentioned here and there, but aside from that, there really hasn't been much importance behind the Ethan Carter character or the winning streak in recent months. I mean, I know he beat Kurt Angle before he took time off, but even that didn't come off like a big victory, as big of a victory as it should have. But, I don't know. Bully Ray is trying to take out everyone in TNA, and after this, I could very well see him moving into a feud with MVP. So, I don't know. It could very well go either way. I guess I'll have to go with Bully Ray. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm really debating this right now. I guess Ethan Carter. I'll go with Ethan Carter III, and then he gets his revenge on Ethan Carter at some point later down the line. I think they're probably building to Dixie Carter being put through a T-ball at the New York tapings in a couple weeks at the Hammerstein Ballroom, which would be pretty awesome. I think that's the best way to write Dixie Carter off TV. As long as she doesn't continue to have a regular role on TV or turn babyface or anything like that, I'm content. But this matchup could go either way. It probably would be smart to keep EC3 undefeated for right now. But if they keep him in the Bound for Glory series, if he competes in the Bound for Glory series and contends for the championship, the undefeated streak could probably get in the way. So I would have to go with Ethan Carter winning here and then probably losing to Bully Ray at some point down the line. So I got Ethan Carter here via dirty tactics, maybe interference from Dixie, something like that. So yeah, EC3 goes over here. Main event time for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. MVP versus Eric Young. And the story with this matchup is that MVP suffered an injury. I think it was maybe, I don't know if it was this past weekend. I think it was last weekend, like 10 days or so ago or something like that. So it's still up in the air in terms of MVP if he can compete at the pay-per-view. As of right now, it's not looking like he will. He was walking on crutches, I think, a couple days ago at a house show from what someone said. So that's the whole problem with TNA taping all their shows at one point, because if MVP can't compete, they'll have to edit the shows and completely back up what they said before of him not being able to compete at the pay-per-view. Look at it this way. If Raw taped all their shows, if they taped all 4 shows all at once before Money in the Bank, then they would have been playing up the fact that Daniel Bryan would possibly be at the pay-per-view, even though they already knew that he wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? So it's completely ridiculous on TNA's part that they even do that, but I don't know how they would handle the situation. If MVP's injured, Kenny King and Bobby Lashley are already in matches, so I don't know who they would put in MVP's spot to contend for the championship. And this is supposed to be their headlining matchup. It doesn't feel like it on paper, but this is supposed to be their main event matchup, so I don't know what they would do in the case an MVP can't compete. But I guess he could use it as an excuse if he was to lose. He can use it as complaining as to, I was injured, so I couldn't win the championship. Whatever. But no doubt about it. Eric Young goes over here, successfully retains the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Won the title 2 months ago. Really no point in taking the title off of him right now. MVP is the latest in a series of TNA heel authority figures. It'd be ridiculous to give him the TNA Championship. I like MVP as a wrestler, just not as an authority figure, because it's the same old shit from TNA with him, Dixie Carter, Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, whoever else has been authority figure in TNA over the last 10 years, 12 years for that matter. But, Eric Young goes over here, and he should go over and make the title feel worthless, an entire reign feel worthless, if he were to lose here, since this entire pay-per-view is supposed to be built around him. So Eric Young is still your TNA World Heavyweight Champion after this event. If I had to put my money on it, I could see the Wolves maybe in a tag match against someone. I guess Kenny King and Bobby Lashley are already in a match. The Bromance, same thing. They might be in a match maybe against the Menagerie, maybe. I'm not really sure. What else could we see? Angelina Love against Gail Kim for the Knockouts Championship. I would have my money on Angelina Love. She just won the title a month ago, so no chance in hell she loses the title this quickly. So, I got my money on Angelina Love retaining if it comes down to that. But that is Slammiversary in a nutshell. Not really looking forward to it, but it is what it is. So here's hoping TNA can pull together a solid show if they do indeed do so. I mean, the matches, like I said before, could be very good. It's just that the fact that the build-up has been so bad, no one cares. So that's the biggest issue with TNA at the moment.